Welcome back, guys, to the This and Much More podcast. I'm Evelin, and my co-host is
Rollie Vogues.
And our special guest today is
Jazmin Pineda.
Yo, Jazzy.
I was like, wait, that threw me off a little bit. I was like, wait, what? That's her name? But I mean, obviously, right? Because it's Jazzy.
Or Jazzy Fit.
I mean, people call you Jazzy Fit, though, right?
A lot of people call me Jazzy Fit. My friends call me Jazzy, and then I don't think anyone calls me Jazmin.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think I've ever seen anywhere like the Jazmin or anything else.
No. I think only people from Georgia call me Jazmin.
So you're not from Houston?
No, I'm from Georgia.
Dang, we're getting started right there already.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, thank you for coming to the podcast.
You know,
we're glad to have you on. And I feel like, I know we're going to get into our backstory and everything, but it's crazy because I feel like, obviously, our group of people are very different from your group of people. Mm-hmm. As in, like, Sugarland area, and then we're more on this side. You know what I mean? So
yeah, in the ghetto.
It's not ghetto out here.
Ghetto? What are you talking about?
This is not the ghetto, but compared to Sugarland, I mean.
Yeah, Sugarland's nice, you know?
Yeah.
Sugarland's nice, but...
Or wait, y'all live in Sugarland?
Yeah, we live in Sugarland, but the only thing about Sugarland is just that it's very diverse, yes, but there isn't a lot of Latinos. So there's a lot of, Indian, there's a lot of Asian. I think more than anything, there's a lot of Indian. But... when we first moved here, we didn't really know much about Houston. We liked Sugarland, so we moved there.
Wait, y'all moved together?
Yeah, we moved together. Yeah, so we've been together since we were 15.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So
We'll
y'all are,
crazy.
Yeah, no, wait. So both of y'all are the same age?
No, he's 30. He'll be 31, and I just turned 29. So he's 2 years older than me.
And he said, I think we've been together longer than them, but we've been together since literally the same age. I'm 28, turning 29, and he's just turned 31.
Yeah, so 2013? You guys started dating?
No, 2010.
No, 2010. 2010, not 2013. I don't know. Oh my God.
Like, wait, what?
Yeah, 2010. Yeah,
Yeah.
May 2010 for us.
Oh, October.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
they
barely. Oh, that's so
Dang,
cool.
that's crazy.
Yeah, because literally he's like, because he's like, I know they've been together a long time, and I'm like, yeah, they have, and then he's like, but I think we probably beat them.
Oh, should we beat you guys? That is crazy.
Does that ever happen though? Like, I feel like people come on the podcast and they tell us about like their marriage and stuff, and sometimes I'm like, oh, we've been together longer than them, you know. But like this time it's like we got beat.
We actually have our friends that own Athletic Empire, Areli and Eduardo. They've been together for 13 years too. Our friends Gabby and Ismail, they've been together for like 13 years too. So most of our friend couples, it's crazy. They've been together since high school too.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like it's really our Arturo and Brea are the only ones that haven't been together as long as we have. But I never thought that I would meet other people that'd been together as long as we have, and now you're the third.
I know.
That's crazy.
Well, for us that y'all are the same age as us, is y'all are the first.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
Same age.
Same age
as
yes.
us. Yeah.
Okay.
Because we know people that are older than us that have been dating, But I feel like people our age, like we're the only ones out of our friends that are.
Yeah.
But I mean, we started like in high school. So it's just like everybody was like fucking around, and we were just like, okay.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. So you're from Georgia?
Yes. So I am from Georgia. I was born in Chicago, but raised in Georgia. I am the oldest of 3 girls. I grew up in the restaurant business because my dad he started his restaurant journey or entrepreneur journey as a waiter in a restaurant, and he worked there for like 12 years. And then he was like, okay, I'm going to open up my own restaurant. So when I was around in primary school, so like 5 or 6, he opened up a restaurant. And then, then he kept that one for a few years, opened up another, so he had 2. So I grew up in the restaurant business. Like, both my parents were working there all day. I was there all summers, all the time.
Were you a waitress?
I started as a hostess when I was like 10, 11. Then I moved up to cashier because I wasn't old enough to be a waitress because you had to take out beer. And then I was so excited because I got to move into waitress. And then from waitress, I was assistant manager and then manager when they would leave to Mexico or whatever trip my dad would want to take. He'd just leave me in charge. And I grew up in the restaurant business. So I was raised in Georgia.
What kind of restaurant?
Mexican.
Oh, Mexican.
Okay.
So your parents are from Mexico?
Yeah, they're both from Jalisco.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's like what, south?
I don't know. Wherever.
I don't know. I mean,
wherever.
I've never been over there, so I don't know.
I know they're from Tamaulipas, so it's just like
we're
they're super close.
Yeah, we're right across.
Oh wait, Jalisco, is that where like Tequila City is?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it's
yes.
down south.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
You are from where?
Salvador.
Oh, okay, okay.
My family's Salvadorian.
Oh, okay,
So,
okay.
But I was born here.
Oh, okay, okay.
But I've been to Mexico way many more times than.
Yes. Have you ever been to Mexico then?
Yeah, we used to go all the time during the fiestas, like, you know, and during Christmas time. My dad would, as soon as the bell rang to get out of school, he would be the first one to pick us up, and we would drive like the 40 hours to his little town, which is called Santa Maria. And we would spend 2 weeks there. And sometimes they only gave us, during holiday time, they only gave us like 10 days. But my dad was like, fuck it. Like, you'll miss an extra couple of days. It's fine. And we would stay there for like 2 weeks during the fiesta, as they call it. You know, every day there's a different party or whatever. And it was like the best until, I think the last time I had my quinceañera actually in Mexico. And then we went one more year, and then things started getting really bad.
Yeah.
And so we just didn't go again.
Wow, so you're full on, like, Latina.
Oh, yeah. I'm full on. Yeah. It's crazy because I don't talk a lot of Spanish on my stories.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Honestly, we were like, wait, I want to know, right? Like, if you're full on, but you're
I'm
quinceañera in Mexico, you're full on.
Okay? I just don't really talk a lot of Spanish in my stories and stuff because where I was raised in Georgia was primarily white. And so I was the only, I think one other kid was, and me were the only Hispanics in our entire high school. So I was like, just always with you know, I mean, it was a little bit of mix, but no Hispanics.
Yeah, you don't get to practice your Spanish.
Well, not even practice your Spanish. You don't have the culture of, like, when you're in school with other Latinos, you guys go through the same things. You guys go to the same parties and do stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I didn't do any of that. And so, yeah, but I'm full on, girl. Chris and I love the music. We love the culture. And, I mean, it's just, I'm starting to practice. I want to talk more Spanish.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. Like, if you speak Spanish, like, just like try to normalize it like in your everyday life.
Yeah. I do speak it, but I think because it's just me and him, we speak mostly English.
Okay,
Anytime I call my mom,
sense.
it's always Spanish. And I talk to my mom almost every day. But I'll do a lot of Spanglish with my friends.
Yeah,
like, you know.
I'm a Spanglish
I like to be Spanglish,
Yeah.
especially if I know you know Spanish. Some of my friends don't. So when they're around, we don't speak as much Spanglish, or I forget they don't know Spanglish. And I'm like, you should understand this right now. But I do. I mean, I the only time I ever get nervous is if I'm going to have like a full-on conversation with someone who's like fluent. Then I get a little bit nervous because I'm like the accents and all that stuff depending on where you're from.
And then you think about it so much, then you start sounding like if you don't even know.
Yeah,
Spanish.
but you do know. You know.
Yeah, because when we had a friend and she's from Monterrey, right? Is that Erica?
I don't remember
Is it
where
Monterrey?
she's from. I don't remember.
I don't know, but her Spanish is like more like rebelde. You know that show Rebelde?
Yeah.
Because they're all going on tour right now, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, she talks more like that. It's like fresa, like
okay,
very, you know. And then
she
ours
called
is more
him
like
Naco.
she called me Naco, and then I'm like, I guess, you know.
It's funny because she's the one. She's the type that's like, oh, pita tu raya way, like she talks like that.
Yeah.
But I feel like Mexico has very different Spanish. Like,
They do everyone. Like Guerrero, like they say cocho. They say like they're like loud. You know, his family's from Guerrero. So
shout out to Chris who's behind the camera today.
His family's like, and so my friend Rollie too. Her family's from Guerrero, and they just like they're super loud. They're like cocho this, cocho that. Like it's just different depending on where you're from. Yeah.
Is Guerrero like where, like middle of Mexico? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we haven't been to Guerrero.
Okay,
No?
yeah, I was gonna ask
okay,
that.
so but have you?
Way back when.
Yeah.
So when's the last time you went to Mexico?
Like 2 years ago.
Yeah, Guadalajara was like 2-3 years ago.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. But not to like the town where my parents are from or his town. Just
to go on a trip?
Yeah, just we went to Guadalajara and spent like a few days over there. And then obviously we go to like Cancun and stuff. But I do get scared to go to like where my parents are from and stuff just because of the cartel stuff. It's just scary.
Yeah, sometimes
Just never know.
we've had to stop going too, just because stuff like that.
Yeah, you just don't know.
But yeah, I mean, every now and then, like, they'll tell us, like, oh, it's good, you know, you can come over here. And sometimes they'll be like, nah, it's best not to come this year or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Because they always try to go every March.
March
right?
and
It's
October.
March and October.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
and now we made it like in January because we have a toy drive.
Oh, okay.
So this is gonna be our 4th year. So we made it a thing where we go after Christmas. So we're basically the last people that take toys to give them out to the kids because people donate during Christmas time or whatever, and then El Dia de los Reyes happens, and then they get like one small toy. So then we go after that, and then we finish off like with giving them like the last toy or whatever.
Oh, that's awesome. What part of Mexico do you guys do that?
In Tamaulipas.
Oh,
well, I mean, that's all I know, right?
Yeah.
From where his family is from, which is crazy because we started doing Alegres Milagros, which is the toy drive, 1 year, right? Like we started the first year, it was just a little town, like his parents' little town, and then we did it the second year, and then it was the town next to them, right?
Yeah.
And then we did it the third year, which was this year in January, and then we were able to drive like an hour away to like a way smaller town.
Yeah.
Literally, we just pulled up in front of a church, and kids were running to the truck.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But you know what's crazy is that like people I mean, I like what we do, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like people always tend to like say like, oh, you're not, in a way, like you're not doing enough. Like,
Yeah.
because we go to
I
our
get that
area
all the time.
and then, I mean, my tios and stuff, they know the kids there, you know, and then
Yeah.
they'll be like, oh, they kind of got money,
Yeah.
you know, go to the next town.
Yeah.
So we go to the next town and they're like, nah, there's another town, you know?
Yeah.
And then we posted like, how she said, like we went to a super small town. And then when we posted the video, like we do a recap of everything we did. And somebody remember there was a comment and somebody's like, why are y'all giving these kids, like, I don't know, like that live in houses, like y'all need to go to the kids that live on the streets. And I'm like, bro, like you can only
You're
do
never
so
gonna
much,
win.
you know? Like
yeah. Honestly,
if we
it's-
gave to hospitals here or like schools, man, they'd be on our ass and be like, go to Mexico.
Yeah,
Which we
yeah.
already do. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? So it's
yeah.
like,
which is crazy. It's so hard, like, to take the toys to Mexico. It's literally like if you're
I was
taking
gonna say,
drugs, girl,
yeah.
like you have to pay like a fee for like
Really?
yeah. So it's like whatever money I get like donated, like I literally just keep it like in my savings, let's say, right?
Yeah.
So I have to like clear that account. So like all that money, I know it's just for Los Milagros because
Yeah.
it's not considered nonprofit. Like it doesn't matter in Mexico if it's a nonprofit here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
to them it's like, okay, what is that? You know?
Yeah.
So then I have his uncle or his dad's friends. Like I normally prep like a box of toys from like what's the store?
Five Below?
No, the box.
Home
the
Depot?
Yeah, Home Depot. The box from like Home Depot. Like I stuff it in with like a bunch of toys, and then I just like give it to somebody, and then
Okay.
they take it. Like
Oh,
they
okay.
cross the border with it. Like, and if they're like, hey, like, what do you have? They pay the fee, and then I just send them the money.
Oh.
Yeah, like
okay,
that. It's
okay.
crazy. Like they don't let you like because they think you're gonna go resell over there. I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, we do that. So why did we get into that again?
I don't even remember.
we were talking
just
about
talking about
something.
Mexico. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got. Oh, but that's
Yeah.
awesome that you guys do that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
because we were talking about the last time you had gone.
Yes.
But and that you were scared. Okay,
Yeah.
so I have nightmares sometimes, especially with the toys, because I'm always telling him. He tells me too. He's like, man, what if the guys pull up and say, "Give me all your toys"?
Yeah.
We're like, okay, take them. Like,
Take the toys. What are you supposed to do?
Well, my thing is like, what are they gonna do? Like, just play with the toys? Like,
I'm always
they don't
like,
want
man,
toys.
they're gonna want to take me. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not
that's what I'm scared
Like,
of.
I'm not even from there. Like,
Yeah.
you know, so.
Yeah, that's what we don't fuck around with. Chris is like, no, fuck that. If they want to take you, what am I supposed to do? I'm gonna have to give you away, and I'm like,
Oh,
well,
he's not even gonna fight.
No, he's gonna fight, and I'm like, I don't want you to die. Like we literally planned this
You're
whole thing.
like-
Like we're just rather not
you,
go.
you planned a scenario.
Yeah, I'm like,
we've
fuck, it's
done
just
that
so
too.
scary, and it's because you just never know,
Yeah.
and you could just literally look at someone the wrong way and piss them off, and then you're like,
Yeah, and they don't
shit
have a
breaks.
certain look to them.
Yeah,
Like,
they don't.
They just look like a Theo. Like,
Yeah.
they look like regular ass people.
Yeah,
Like,
don't get me wrong. Like they'll have like their walkies when we be driving over there,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, oh my god.
Or they have their hats. They say like the name on there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
it's
okay.
scary.
Yeah,
it's
no.
scary,
Yeah.
but it's cool once you're like in the neighborhood.
I mean, when you were younger, I loved it. I mean, we would be out and about all day. Your parents don't give a shit where you're at as long as you come back and shower and get ready to go to the plaza. But we were like literally on four-wheelers, dirty all day in La
Yeah.
Plaza. Didn't give a shit about anything.
Yeah.
I don't even know what we ate. I think we just ate like tortilla with aguacate and just like get out the door first thing in the morning. And like, it was a great experience. I
Yeah,
loved
for
it. But
sure.
now as I'm older, it's like, I wouldn't have that same experience. But I'm grateful for it. you
yeah,
know?
but what do you think it would be like for your kids?
That's a good
'Cause
question.
don't you want to like share that with them? But then you're just limited to being able to provide that experience, right? Like it's hard.
Yeah, I don't know. I never now because I just haven't had that experience and because Chris hasn't had that experience, I don't know if I would share that Mexico experience with them. But what I do love is that if we ever do decide to have kids, like my dad, he's like very much into horses and things like that. So I still really like grow them up in that culture.
Yeah,
right? I still want
that's
them to
what
be
I-
part of it.
Yeah.
It's just the Mexico part of it, depending on where things are later on. You know, if we could take them with my parents and stuff, great. But I don't think that alone sets like the standard for raising them in the Mexican culture. I think
Oh,
we
yeah,
can do
for
it here,
sure. No.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I like we do that for our son, where it's like he goes to Mexico. He
with
spends,
us though.
Yeah, because my parents are always like, "Oh, we'll take them." I'm like,
no,
I'm good. You know? But he's over there with them right now. My dad has a ranch. He has his horses.
Okay,
but
like,
here in Houston.
Yeah.
So he's over there right now. I know he like goes out there, feeds the whatever
the animals.
Because he has
Yeah.
like borregas and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then but we were just talking about that because what were we talking about? Food. Just like Mexican food, right? How we don't cook, like I don't cook, or she doesn't cook like the stuff my mom would give me, you know. Well,
like
she
the
has
carne
like
guisada and
yeah,
stuff
like she
that.
has a different upbringing. She's Salvadorian, you know, so her foods are different than mine. But Milo, our son, he doesn't have like we're not giving him those foods that we grew up with. You know, we try. I mean, we give him like Mexican stuff.
He's eating like flautas, but like air fried.
Yeah.
Not like, you know?
like
True.
that.
Yeah.
Like he's
like
eating
that.
like healthier versions
Yeah,
of like
yeah.
what we used to eat, you know? So that's what we were just talking about. Like,
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I haven't thought about that far ahead about our kids, like, because I don't cook. Like, Chris is the cook in the house, so he cooks.
I told you
And
it was
then
a thing.
And he has the patience to cook. Like, I'm there, I'm the cleaner. Like, he hates washing the dishes. I'll wash the dishes. You cook for me, baby. So he'll cook. His mom was really, because I was raised in the restaurant, I ate restaurant food. My mom didn't really have to cook.
Yeah.
But his mom cooked very much, and she's one of the best cooks I've ever met. She cooks really, really well. Because of our like fitness lifestyle and stuff, we've just kind of stopped eating like authentic Mexican food because you have to. So now at home, you know, we just prefer having like the simple chicken and rice or whatever it is, because one, we're gonna hit our macros, and two, like, we have to keep a physique, so we can't always be eating stuff with a ton of aceite and things like that. And like now, like, you know, you deal with lactose intolerance, so I can't have a ton of queso and you know, crema and stuff. But I've never really thought about, damn, like, if I have kids, how am I gonna pass this like tradition to them? Because I still love eating those foods. Like, when we go to Georgia, his mom's like, okay, what menu, what do you want this week that you guys are here? And we're like, we want enchiladas verdes, we want enchiladas de mole, we want this, we want that. So we get that experience. So hope to God, you know, your mom doesn't die till she's like over 100 and she can cook for her kid.
Your mom's here in Houston?
No, she's in Georgia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, girl, I called her the other day and I was like, hey, I'm trying to make a salsa verde for enchiladas verde, because he was at the gym, and I'm like, suegra, I'm trying to make enchiladas verdes, pero me salieron muy picosos. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, how many chiles am I supposed to put? Because the recipe on TikTok said like 1 jalapeno and three serranos, and I did it, and it was so spicy and it came out bitter. And she's like, oh, es que no tienes que dejar que los tomatillos bust. And I'm like, shit, I was over here waiting till they do bust. It's a whole ass process to cook Mexican food, dude.
Yeah, it is.
It's a
so
whole
annoying
process.
because like the green enchiladas that you're talking about, like I get the recipe from my sister,
Oh,
and she's Salvadorian too, right? But she knows how to make the good Mexican green enchiladas because her husband is like Mexican. Yeah. So I'm like, hey, dude, how do I? And she just sends me. I'm like, no, send me measurements.
Yeah. How much
Like,
of each?
yeah.
His mom too. No, más le echas poquito cuando tú miras. I'm like, no. How golden brown? Like, where? Because I'm like,
the tone?
yeah, because I cannot. You can't do that. No, just poquito porque no vas a ver. I'm just gonna fucking ruin it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of.
Yeah,
dude,
like,
he came home that day. He was like, baby, you look so stressed. I was like, this was so stressful. I was like, just eat these damn enchiladas already. Oh my god.
Did you make them in do y'all fry like the tortilla?
That day, no, I just like put a little bit of oil and like poquito. Like, it's because we don't really.
No, yeah,
you
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like with Milo, it's just because back then the food, there was just like, you eat what there is, and there's just no way to make it healthy.
Right.
Now we're learning, you know, like the better option.
Yes.
So
but
I
it's still
feel
not
like
the same. I mean, it's better, you know, pero
It doesn't taste the same.
it
No,
doesn't taste the
absolutely
same.
not.
no.
Man, like, we have this hot dog lady, and then we always talk about her on the podcast.
the hot
but, like,
dog lady.
Really?
Yeah, over there in Mexico. And then she does like the hot dogs, and then she wraps the bacon on there, and she puts like all these like verduras and shit.
Yeah.
And
It's
then
just
she
too-
does like this. Oh,
It's
what?
tomate y soya.
Yeah,
Yes,
tomate
tomate.
soya.
I was literally about to say tomate.
And then
soya.
she puts like this hot sauce. It's que es
Habanero.
habanero, right? But it's like white, you know.
Oh, okay.
And so we came over here, and I'm like,
white, like a creamy.
yeah, it's like a creamy white like sauce. And then we came over here, and I'm like, I'm gonna try to do it, you know. So I do them, and then it's my style, you know. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna copy her thing. I don't know what she does. You know?
She
So,
doesn't share her recipe.
Okay.
yeah, so I'm just like,
Yeah,
I make
secret,
I make habanero sauce, and then mine's orange or whatever,
Oh, yeah.
the color of the habanero,
habanero,
you know.
Yeah.
And then so I give them to my family and stuff, and they're all like, "Oh, I mean, it's not as good as the ladies, you know, but whatever." Like, and I'm like, "Bro, I'm not trying to like, you know, at least I got some today, you know." Like,
where does she sell the hot dogs?
Like at the plaza.
Yeah. Oh, okay. In Mexico?
Yeah, in Mexico.
Oh, okay.
She's literally
so every time we go over there, she's always hitting her up.
Because I had to add her on Facebook because of the toy drive. A lot of like the people that live over there ended up adding me because I never created like an Instagram account or anything. Yeah. So they were just adding my personal, and I'm just like, hell no, I have like all these people that I don't even know, like on my Facebook, you know? Yeah. So then I ended up, this year's the first year, this already are going to be our fourth one. I barely created the page this year. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's nice.
But I had to add a lot of people, and I realized that she was the one that made hot dogs. So then I'm just like, now I know, right? So then I just became cool with her, and I'm like, now every time I'm like, we're going to Santa, and she's like, aquí los espero or whatever. You know?
I got your hot dogs ready. Yeah, that's cool.
But let's talk about like you coming over here. So
how was that?
How did y'all? Because y'all came by yourselves, right? Like y'all's family's not here. No. Y'all don't have no family here.
No family.
So what caused that? Like what made y'all come over here?
So we were both, I was working full time for my dad as a manager and waitress. And at the time, I knew like Chris and I have always been like really hard workers, and we knew we wanted more out of our life. Especially for me, I knew that I didn't want to just work like a 9-to-5 job. Mm-hmm. I never really envisioned myself just like at a desk. I was like, I either want to get into the restaurant business or be some sort of entrepreneur. And then at the time, we were a little bit into fitness, and I was working at the restaurant. I was training online. I was training in person. I was having classes, and I was also doing makeup. Like I was just hustling, and he was hustling too. And I was like, hey, like, how about we like open up a restaurant? Because we went to the Arnold. Are you guys familiar with the Arnold? It's one of the big bodybuilding expos.
Oh, like yeah.
Yeah, so we went to Arnold, and we went to this one restaurant, which was almost like similar to Torchy's, but they just opened one here in Sugar Land that you have like a Scantron sheet, and you pick what you want in a taco, and then you turn in the Scantron sheet like when you were in school, and they make your taco for you. I think it was called Condado, something like that in Ohio, and we loved the concept, and I was like, fuck, Chris, this is awesome. We should take this back to Georgia. So at the time we were young and we didn't really have money to start our own business. So I told my dad, hey, because at this time my dad only had one restaurant, and he's really old school. And I was like wanting to make it more like modern and better and more Americanized, like with technology and everything. My dad was like, his was still like no pads and like a cash register or whatever. And we like pitched him the idea. We had a name. We looked at locations, but then last minute he pulled out. He's like, no. Like he was too scared. He's like, I don't want to start over at that point. And so right before he like pulled out, we came to Houston for summer shredding. It was like it was like the first or second summer shredding. But it was still at his little gym, like his first ever gym. And I think I was going to start working with Ghost, or I met Ghost there, and it was like super small, and like we didn't really have much money, but we were like, fuck it, like he's doing his first summer shredding, let's just drive and see who we meet, see who we connect with. And we would go to the different expos too, to do like, at this point I wasn't sponsored by anyone, but just to meet people. And so we came to Houston, and we hit it off with the Ghost people, and because they knew Christian, we hit it off there. And we also had a friend named Kelvin. He was a photographer. And he was like, you guys should move to Houston. And
Kelvin the Chinito?
Chinito, yeah. He's still our friend. I said we had a friend. He's still our friend.
Shout out Kelvin. Yeah. No, I talked to him too.
Okay, yeah. And so we came to the event, whatever. We liked it. And then we went back home.
You can
keep going. Yeah. Okay, we went back home, and my dad pulled out, and we were like, fuck. Like, what are we gonna do? Like, I don't know. And we were there for like a week or two, and then our friend Kelvin had his baby shower. So we came again, and we loved it. And he was like, you guys should move here. And at this point, I had just signed with Alphaland. Alphaland had reached out and was like, we would love to bring you on. They had like, maybe at the time they only had like a woman's crop top. That was it. But they wanted to bring in more female influencers. So they brought me on, and then, you know, I came to the baby shower, and we liked it here. We're like, fuck, like this would be a great opportunity, because one, I'll be close to Christian, right, in Alphaland, and at that point he was already at the new gym, and I was like, it's just a bigger city. There was so much diversity too. For us is what we love. Like the different restaurants, the different cultures. Like I said, over there, I'm from my parents live in a small town called Chickamauga. Okay, Chickamauga. It's like so fucking small. And like I said, no diversity. For us to even go to like the club, you'd have to drive to Atlanta, which was 2 hours away. So we'd have to stay like at a hotel. The hangout spot over there was like a Chili's or Applebee's. That was the hangout spot. There was literally nothing. Now there's a lot more over there in Georgia, but or where we're from. But when we were living there, nada. So we came back from the baby shower, and I was working one day, and I just remember it was like during a slow period of the restaurant when there's like not many people. And I was waiting this table, and then I just like went to the restroom, and all of a sudden I just like had like this crazy panic attack and started crying. And I call him, and I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I'm like, either I'm like, we move or I move alone, but I got to get the fuck out of here. I was like, I got to get out of here. And it was one of the hardest decisions because I'm the oldest. My parents, I don't know if you guys are older.
He's the oldest.
Yeah,
they depend a lot on you, right? Like how like I raised my mom basically, and I helped my parents with everything at that time, restaurant, personal, everything. So making the decision of leaving my family was really hard. But at that time, I felt like I couldn't breathe. I was like, I need to get out, because if not, I'm just going to stay here. I'm going to end up being here, and I'm not going to get out. And so he was like, fuck it. Like, let's go. And we had just signed our lease at our apartment. We had just re-signed again. And we were like, fuck it. Like, let's just go. So we sold all the stuff we had. We gave some of the furniture that my mom had given us for our apartment back to my parents. At this point, we were already married too. But I gave some furniture back to my mom. We sold all our stuff. And then everything we had left, we packed it in a Prius. Everything. It was the biggest thing was our TV, because we really wanted to bring a fucking TV. Because at that time, you know, TVs are fucking expensive. So we're like, fuck our TV. I was driving a 350Z at the time, sold my 350Z. They only gave me like $4,000 for it. I sold it. That's the only money we came here to Houston with. $4,000 to our name. He had an S2000, sold it. We traded in for the Prius, and we got the Prius, put all our stuff, all our clothes. We bought this big ass like bag, and you put it on top of the Prius, and in that bag was just clothes, like just all our clothes. Zipped it up, put it on top of the Prius. The back seats were full with like little tiliches and fucking TV. And then I was shotgun, Chris was driving, and our Frenchie was in my lap. The whole 13 hours, a 13-hour drive. And at that point, we had already signed a lease in an apartment in Sugarland, and Kelvin is the one that actually helped us get it. And yeah, we were like, fuck it. We gotta make it, you know? And Chris and I are big believers on we will either find a way or we will make one. I actually have it tattooed here, and he has it tattooed on his chest. And ever since we like moved out by ourselves, it was like, we're gonna find a way, we're gonna fucking make a way, like we're gonna make it happen. Like for us, it was like we didn't ever expect any handouts. We've always worked really hard for our stuff. Do you need me to get a break?
Yeah.
sorry.
No, I just because you're going, and I don't want to stop you.
You're Let's go on a quick break, and we'll be back.
Okay, sir.
And we are back. Right. So you were saying y'all both have it tattooed, right?
Yeah. So we both have it tattooed. We will find a way, or we will make one. We've just been firm believers on like, you got to make a way to be successful, right?
Yeah. How old were y'all? Because you said y'all already married.
Yeah. So we moved out when I was 20. 19, 20, I moved out with him, and you were like 22, I think, at the time. And then we got married. Like, we never had a wedding. We just kind of got married, like, because my parents were like, you can't live together until you're married. So we just got married through court real quick. We
didn't live together until we got married. Literally moved in. We got married Saturday, and I moved in with him Sunday.
Did you have a wedding?
Yeah, we had a wedding.
Okay. See, no, we didn't have a wedding because I was just like, fuck it, whatever. We didn't have money to have a wedding either. And so we had a little bitty party with like our immediate family, but that was it. So, so then we moved together, and we lived together in Georgia for 4 years before we moved here to Texas. So yeah.
So it's been recent, right?
Yeah, it's been, this month actually will be 5 years. My birthday. Yeah, we moved my birthday 5 years ago, 2018.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, and I'm like, damn, at 20, I don't know if I would have taken a risk like that. But because she talks about like leaving Houston sometimes. Like she's like, I would want to live somewhere else, you know, whatever. But I'm like, I like Houston. I don't know.
No, I like.
But it's
Houston
like it's crazy
too.
because where you were living at, it kind of makes sense for you to want to move out somewhere else. But I mean, I feel like in Houston, it's just becoming more of an opportunistic like space.
But it wasn't back then though.
Yeah.
Houston really wasn't like it was more like LA or New York, you know, but Houston, it wasn't like a big, like events.
Yeah, like did y'all ever think about like going like to LA or something instead?
Yeah, so Chris is originally from LA, but it was so expensive. I was like, like we got a stepping stone because if we moved to LA, I mean, we would go visit his family and we would see what they would pay for like a little shack, you know what I mean? And it was like,
it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculously expensive. And I wasn't going to go try to make it in some place like that where I already knew it was going to be really, really hard, right?
Yeah.
So it was kind of like a stepping stone, which LA is beautiful, right?
Yeah.
But even now, like sometimes we think about moving to LA, but I'm like, fuck, I don't want to pay like
what you
triple
pay
the
now?
yeah, for like something way smaller. So I just don't want to give up my living,
Yeah.
my little living to move to LA. But
no, for me, it's more like I'm down to like move to Spain and just like
Oh,
live
yes.
life like that.
Yes.
You know? But we just have so much going on, like with the podcast. We have to build first before we're able to make that move. You know?
yeah, you do, but I think it's great. A lot of influencers are doing that now. I literally just told them like a few weeks ago, I was like, fuck it, let's. I mean, we have the house, right? But I was like, well, just Airbnb in the house or something, and let's just I literally told him, let's go live in Spain for a year. Like, I literally told him, let's go live in Spain for a year. Because you can, right? As an influencer, once you build yourself to a certain level, like, you can take your podcast shit over there, you know, and do it over there. Like, as long as you're getting income from somewhere, right? Then you can live anywhere. But I think if you can do it, why not do it?
No,
right?
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so we moved here and it was just me and him. And
How
we
was
like,
that drive for y'all? Because like I only imagine like y'all being in the car and being like, "Fuck, we're doing this."
We were excited. What?
Fucking Prius red lighting.
Oh, fuck it. Yeah, I don't know. We were really excited. You know, a lot of our friends at the time and our family were really scared, right? They were like, please don't leave. My mom at that point was like, when the week, she's like, we'll open the restaurant you want. I was like, it's too late. Like, it's too late, Mom. I'm sorry. It's too late. And everyone was so terrified because, I mean, our parents would still tell you, like, both of you by yourselves, so young. So we moved in together at 20, but we moved here I was 24.
That's a young age still.
It's still really young. And but I was like, always like, if we don't make it, we can always go back. Like for me, I was never scared because I was like, at the time, thankfully, I already had Alphaland, so I had that salary. And then I was like, I have my online training, so I did build. Like I just didn't have a job and moved. Like he's the one that did have to find a job, so he found a job and worked at Nissan, the car dealership. But I had my income for my online training and Alphaland. And I was like, I'll get other jobs when I get here, you know, if I need the income. But I was like, if it doesn't fucking work, it doesn't work. We move back and no pasa
Open
nada.
the restaurant.
Yeah, you know, it doesn't. And thankfully, like people are still like shocked that we've the amount of growth we've had just living here. But I just think that if you're willing to chase the opportunity and you know that more than anything you believe in yourself that you're capable of more, you can make it happen.
You know, at what point did you start seeing like like some sort of success where you were like, you know what, like it is gonna work, like it's things are starting to pick up?
I think after the year, because he was working still at Nissan, and then after the year with my training and Alphaland getting bigger and me getting bigger as an influencer is when I started to notice a change. And that's when he quit his job. I was like, hey, just quit Nissan and just work with me full time. So he started taking on clients and we just started like really focusing on our online training, and then my salary with Alphaland helped a lot and stuff. So I think after the year, but we really had to like work hard during that year. And it was really hard. Like it was a really hard transition because I was by myself. He was working at it. If you work in a car dealership, you're there all day, almost every day.
Yeah.
You know, it's really tough. So we had to give up a lot of quality time together. And that was really hard because we didn't have any friends. So it was just me and him.
So I was wondering that, like, it's crazy because whenever me and him, because obviously there's an age difference, right? I mean, it was like 2 years. And so the maturity level, like at that age, like you had to be like mentally right, like, you know, to be able to deal with something like that, like a big transition, like, right?
Yeah, I think because I was the oldest too, I've always been really mature for my age.
Yeah.
I honestly consider myself like an old soul. I'm just like very, even now he gets mad at me because he's like, you dress like you're 50. He's like, you're like, stop. I'm like, I'm gonna be 30. I need to act different. He's like, shut up. Like, you don't, like, you're still so fucking young. Like, stop. But like, I've just always been like, because my past with my family and stuff, I've always I always think ahead, and like, I've been really mature, and he's always really wanted more out of his life too. And I feel like, thankfully, yeah, even though it's 2 years, he's pretty mature, I guess I would say. Yeah. Even though it was very scary. We both kind of knew we had to like grind our asses when we got here, but for us, it was worth it because we wanted more out of our life.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's so funny because the way you're talking about y'all, I feel like that's how we are. Like, because he's always like, man, you should put this on. You should put this on.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I guess. Like,
yeah. That's how he is. He's like, go get a tighter dress. Like, I'm like, bro, I don't want to wear a tighter dress. I'm like, just let me. He's like, you and your vineyard shirts, because I like oversized shirts. He's like, they're too oversized. You look like you belong in in Napa Valley in a vineyard. I'm like, bro. He looks like, have you watched the movie The Parent Trap?
Yeah.
He thinks I look like that lady that takes care of the house for them.
Oh my God.
He's like, you want to dress like that lady in The Parent Trap? I'm like, no, but yeah.
But oversized tees are a thing.
They're a thing.
Yeah,
they're
literally,
thing,
like,
yeah.
my closet is like regular clothes and then a side full of like t-shirts. Like,
yeah.
So whenever people come over, because we have like a lot of brands, they're like, oh, what size? And I'm like, okay, small or medium, like,
Yeah.
and normally they bring like a medium, so they're like oversized. Yeah,
and it's always like the Shaka Wear blanks or the LA blanks.
Yeah.
So those are already running like oversized. you know?
Yeah. So
I wanted to ask, like, y'all have a clothing brand?
We did.
Oh, y'all did, right?
Yes.
So like, was that part of the plan? Like, oh, let's start a brand or whatever to try to make it, or no?
Yes. Well, we wanted to do a brand, right?
Yeah.
We always believed, we believe in having multiple sources of income. You can't really become a millionaire with just one source of income, right? Unless you're lucky or you're born into money. So for us, it's been always really important to have multiple sources of income coming in. So we had our online training, I had my sponsorships, and then we started No Evil. So even before then, I started I've always been like very business savvy. I started I made like a small hip thrust pad at the time, and I was like, oh, let me sell hip thrust pads, and I sold booty bands and things like that. And then No Evil came out because at the time, it was our first year here. I had some issues with some people, and I will say the hardest transition about moving from Georgia to Houston is that Georgia is in the South, right? And Southern hospitality is a big thing. Like, people are just nicer over there. And I grew up with like family and nice, relatives and my cousins and things like that. So yes, I dealt with a little bit of girl drama, but not much. And when I moved here, you're surrounded with influencers who are all trying to make it, right? And like the amount of, honestly, like, negativity and hate that was here when I first moved, and just, it was a lot. And it was a lot for my like little, heart to take. Like, at that point, honestly, I was, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, innocent. Like, I just didn't expect.
What would he tell you?
Or for what, right? Like,
yeah. What would Chris tell you?
He was, at the time, like, he was still working at Nissan and stuff, and so I was trying to make friends and girlfriends, and like, I just dove in. Like I said, I thought like everyone was gonna be nice, everyone wants the same thing, and when someone switches on you, and I'm a very honest person. Like, if I don't like you, I'll tell you. If you did something to hurt my feelings, I'll handle it right then and there. Like, I just don't like, I don't mind confrontation. I'd rather confront you about something than like be overthinking it, because I'm already a natural overthinker.
Yeah, because we're grown-ups.
Yeah,
right.
Like, handle it like a fucking grown-up.
Yeah,
just say it.
Literally,
Say.
you know how we were talking off camera about my job?
Yeah.
Literally, that was the conversation that I was having like today. And I'm like, we're grown-ups. Like, we should be able to say like what we feel.
Yeah, yeah. Why not? And like, during that time, I dealt with like a little bit of just like negativity, but I felt it. And I don't know if you guys are believers in el ojo, cuando alguien te hace enojo. And dude, I was like, I felt like I was always getting ojo. I was always getting sick. Like, I didn't feel good. So I told him, I was like, I need to like wear a bracelet or something, because I constantly feel like I can't even go into the space with this person there, because I feel like really bad. I feel sick. And I was like, I want to make some sort of jewelry or something with the el ojo. And so that's where the evil eye started, because I started with a necklace, and I was like, what can we call it? And Chris is like, let's call it No Evil. So that's where the brand started, and it started with jewelry, making it to like protect yourself from negativity, but also to remind yourself to give off good energy. So we started with necklaces, we did anklets, and I have my bracelets, earrings, and then we got into clothing a little bit. Now, because of our new project that we're starting, we kind of had to literally focus 100% on this new project. So that we kind of, sold all the inventory we had. We still have the name, we still own it, because we would love to come back to it. But if you have a clothing brand, you really have to put a lot of effort into it.
And a lot of people don't realize that all that work that you're putting into a brand, you don't see anything. So sometimes it can get like tiring and unmotivating, because you can't get none of the fundings, because you have to reinvest everything.
Like, I think people like take a look at like the big picture. They look at Alphaland, or they look at like, are you guys familiar with Dark Sport, the company I work with? They look at Dark Sport, they're like, oh, it's teachers, I can do that. But they've been doing that shit for 7 years. Like, you don't, like, it's easy to look on in social media and think of like, oh, well, look, they're here already. But they don't think about everything that this company's gone through and how long they've gone through to be where they're at. The work.
And it's kind of crazy, because you come from a world like, and by that I mean like your circle of friends, your circle of like people that like Christian, Charlie, and all these people, like they have their brands, and like I'm super familiar with their brands. I think it all started with Christian. I had watched his YouTube growing up, and then from there I saw everybody else, and so I see everybody. Even Max had his stuff. And then on the Houston side, on our side, we have like Slumped, we have like these other brands, streetwear, Throwed. We have a bunch of friends that have brands, but they're not at the scale that they are over there in Sugarland. So it is crazy. Like over here, I look at our friends, like, okay, they're successful, they have like a good following, but compared to them, like over there, Dark Sport and all these people, they're like big, like big brands, like it's crazy, like
because they do have there's the differences that like a lot of the brands that like we know have, like they don't have like a company mindset mentality,
which they might yet. I mean they're probably still growing it, but I mean what I'm saying is like over there, like in Sugarland, like with Charlie and them, like their brands, because I listen to Russ's
podcast,
and then he talks about his brand a lot, and I'm like, man, like it's a lot that goes into it,
a lot. A lot. And the thing too, like they're all friends, they're constantly like having to level up. That's the one thing that you feel a lot of pressure as a business when your friends are all like super successful business owners, because like you said, they're not just like, oh, not even to say average, but they're like fucking big, right? So it's you are constantly having to think about, shit, I need to keep growing, I need to do better, and it's a lot of pressure. And
then they don't even consider it like streetwear, it's just like fitness wear.
Like
it
brand,
is fitness.
It's like a fitness brand, so because we know a lot of streetwear brands.
Okay.
And then you speaking about like you having like issues or whatever with somebody or people, I don't know, right? But I guess you're talking about like, oh, there was other social media influencers that were out there, and I really didn't know any other ones. Now that, go ahead.
No, because it's funny, like, because, she was one of the first ones, right?
Yeah. So I'm just like, damn, who was it? But it's like, what other social media influencers were there? Because I only knew Christian.
More, obviously, now there is more,
and then now I see like Alphaland, and then that's where they all are.
They all are, So
at
the time it was smaller.
So it was probably you and then a few others.
But the few others, I feel like with our group of people, like that, I feel like you were the one we knew.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Well,
I was the OG. I was one of the OG models.
Yeah. So for us, we were like, when he was saying that, I was like, because out of our people like that we would gym with or whatever, you were the one that we knew. We didn't know like other ones, or at least we didn't follow, So that's why it's funny, because he's like, whoa, who? But not asking you specifically.
Yeah, not like who were you beefing with, but like what other people were out there.
Like, it wasn't anyone part of Alphaland. It wasn't an influencer, but it was someone in the circle. So.
But you said it earlier too, how the brands like from over there, like I'm saying like over there, like if it's not here, right? But those brands, like you're like, oh, you have to level up because they're leveling up, but it's not a competition.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and then see, a lot of the thing is with like I feel like a lot of girls, the thing is like they see it as a competition when it shouldn't be. Like we should all be able to like grow each other, like help each other, you know, grow and like just level up together.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, how is it now? Like, I mean, I've never been to Alphaland. But
I don't go to Alphaland as much just because our friend owns Pearland, the Athletic Empire, right here in Pearland. So I gym there just because, to be honest, with Alphaland, it's just a lot of influencers. A lot. And it's so packed. And like anytime we go, every machine is taken. Like it's really hard to just go in and try to just work out. Because yes, I'm like a fitness influencer. I do record some of my workouts, but that's only like twice a week. The other days I actually want to go and work out. When I was at Alphaland, like I was like, fuck, like I have to always be put together, look presentable, because either someone wants to take a picture or I'm going to be in someone's video, right? Whereas with Athletic Empire, like I record twice a week, and the other days I literally just go in, you know, like no makeup with, you know, my hair up, whatever. Like I can just be myself and work out.
And I know it's like, I feel like you're looking at it in a way like not a consumer mindset, but just like you're somebody, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like, I feel like Christian built Alphaland for influencers. You know what I mean? Obviously it's like you can go and get your workout in, which is a regular gym, but I mean, at the same time, people are going there to work. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, I get what you're saying.
Well, he originally didn't ever plan it to be just for influencers. Yeah. He did like say, okay, people are it's gonna be great for content, but then the influencers started taking over a lot, and that actually became a problem because people were like complaining because it was influencers and cameras everywhere, and like, you know, some people aren't the nicest about it, right? So he's had to like even like had to change some of the rules because guys were, to be honest, the people that are worse are the guys, not girls. The guys at Alphaland, oh my god, these guys are just like, it's just like, to me, like I guess because it's a big turn off for me for like a guy to be super into himself like that, but it was like t-shirt off, like just flexing like almost on his underwear. So he had to kind of change the rules and be like, okay, you have to wear your shirt in the gym, like you can't just be completely naked. And he's had to change the rules a little bit, but honestly it hasn't really been girls. The issue has been a lot of guys. Damn. It's crazy.
You know, you had just went live, right?
Today?
I don't know.
Today.
No, wait, was it today?
Yeah, it was today.
Oh yeah, it was today. It was today.
Yeah, it was today.
And she was like, "Hey, I got on her live, and I think she sent you a message.
Yeah,
I
did.
She put on there like, "Can't wait to see you tonight" or something like that. But she's like, "Man, all the guys were just flooding like her live."
Yeah, because I'm like, I told him, I'm like, because I came home for lunch, right? And then I'm like, oh yeah, she went live. So then I joined, right? And you were like talking or whatever. And then I'm like, and I sent the message, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure she didn't even get to see it because all these guys were like, da 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 da, and I'm like, as soon as I sent my message went straight up, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I was gonna ask you about that. Like, does that suck? Like, just to have all these guys like just flooding your stuff? Because what if there's like actual girls that are trying to like talk to you?
The issue with lives and the reason I don't do lives as often is because that happens a lot, but it's because a lot of people that don't follow me actually join my live. It's weird. I don't know how that happens, but like I get a lot of people who don't follow me on my lives, and that's why I don't like it. Yeah, because people, and it'll be guys that don't follow me, and they'll just like be like, "Who are you?" Like, blah, blah. I'm like, "What the fuck? Why are you asking then? Like, why are you on my live?
Why are you on the live if you're
But for as far as like DMs and things like that, I think now because I have my OnlyFans, that's where guys, you know, message me on my,
and they pay.
And they pay. And I make money off of it. So I don't mind. Send me a message because I'm making money off of you. Yeah. But in my DMs and stuff, I don't get that much guys. I think if I get anywhere, a lot of guys is like my TikTok too. But that's pretty much it. Yeah, I don't get
but TikTok is pretty like open. Like, it's just to anything.
Because everything's on your For You page. Yeah. But with guys, on my Instagram, I don't really have to deal with it too much now. Yeah. Because everything is pretty much, nowadays, every guy and girls who ever look for OnlyFans, they go to your profile and automatically that's what they look for on OnlyFans. And if they find an OnlyFans, they typically just go straight there and then into your DMs.
Yeah. And in real life, it's like you don't get none of that. No,
I actually don't really get hit on in person.
You know, but it's funny because I feel like guys are chicken shits. Like they're all about it behind the phone, sending their little messages, and then they're just like dry as fuck whenever they see you. Like, you know?
I don't think you know, like I don't really get hit on by guys, and if I do, well, I don't really go out by myself. First of all, usually at the gym, you know, I'm at the gym. We're at the gym together, and people know who I am, right? If I go out with like my girlfriends at night for dinner, if I get hit on, it's typically an older man, like older, like 30, like mid 30s or early 40s. That's, to be honest, is what I attract. Like younger guys don't really ever come up to me. It's usually
probably like intimidating for them.
Probably, but it's usually, if I'm gonna get hit on, it's gonna be like a 30-year-old like grown man
wanting to make you their
So
sugar
I'm
baby.
I know. I'm like, maybe my sugar baby.
Like you talking about 30-year-old grown man. I'm like, I'm a 30-year-old.
No, you know, he's 32 though. But like it's a different vibe, right?
No,
Versus
yeah,
like
I feel you.
a young 20-year-old, right? No,
Yeah,
no,
no,
I
it's-
just
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Damn,
Not that it's a bad thing. I honestly prefer older men, but it's just a preference.
Well, what about okay? So, this is the time.
Yeah, cause no. I think we're good. We
Okay.
got 4 minutes.
Okay, because I was gonna ask you. So you went into like your OnlyFans. How does that even work?
How does
'Cause-
OnlyFans work?
Yeah, like how does it work? They can send you messages.
Yeah. It's like a little Instagram. Well, it's not like an Instagram because I wish there was like a platform like a app, because then I would make a lot more money. But
Through an app? They don't have an
It's
app.
not an app.
No, it's not an app. So
It's
It's
just
kind of
a
crazy
link.
because she's not like at this point. It's been out for so long. Like I know a lot about it. You know.
Why
I'm
do
not-
you know a lot about
I'm
it?
just saying. You know?
I know. Checks
No,
the bank
but-
account.
No. I know a lot about it. I mean, you're super open about it. People just talk about OnlyFans. You know,
A
I
lot
follow
more.
different podcasts. Like they all just talk about
Yeah.
it. But it's funny because she really doesn't like know much about it. You know. So it's like,
Yeah, I never really
so
looked
when-
into it. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
one I looked into was like the feet one.
Oh yeah, the
You know.
feet finder.
Yeah, I think that was what it was called,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
What the hell? I don't know nothing about that. I don't know. I just
No,
know
I just
OnlyFans.
looked into it because I saw it like on TikTok, you know, because on TikTok, like you couldn't talk about OnlyFans.
No, yeah.
Is that what you're asking me if your feet were nice?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, look at you, make that extra money.
But yeah, like, so I was just wondering because we have a friend too, and we had asked her, but I know she doesn't have it, right, Jessica Lynn?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, she doesn't. But because she gets like a lot of those messages, like, oh, you're OnlyFans.
But she doesn't have
gets,
an OnlyFans?
No, but she gets a lot of fake accounts too.
But
Like-
people ask her about OnlyFans, but she doesn't have an OnlyFans?
Like in the
Yeah.
comments, right? They'll say like, "Oh,
Start it.
start
start
like
an
an
OnlyFans
OnlyFans
or
or
whatever.
something like stuff like that."
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And but I mean, I feel like she's just like whatever about it, right? Like
Yeah, I don't think she's. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know
what her
about now,
plans
right?
are, you know?
Yeah.
Because she just started doing, because she used to work like at a hospital or something, and now she's sponsored by because we had her on the podcast,
Alphaland
but she's by
and-
sponsored by Alphaland, like
I forgot who
different.
else, but
I think she's with Dark Sport
I don't think
too.
she's with Dark Sport.
No?
No.
I
She's
don't
with
know.
Alpha Lee for sure though.
What's her name?
Jessica Lynn. Lynn Kaino.
Like
okay.
yeah, she's like small.
Yeah.
Yeah, her. So I had asked her, but she was like, "Well, I don't know about it," because she didn't know. So I was like always wondering, like, how does it work? Like, you just get like a weekly check, or is it like monthly?
No. You get payouts like ever so often. Yeah, they
okay.
pay you through the app. Yeah, and they only take like a really small percentage. But yeah, you're able to control what you post on there. Some people have like paid VIP pages or free VIP or free pages. So if they're free, you can get on for free and see everything. But then every picture has like a little lock on them, and you have to pay to unlock that picture. So it might be like $5, it might be $10, it might, depending on what you post, and you can do whatever you want. Like, you know, everyone has their limit, right? So
Yeah.
like I have my limit. There's girls that go on there and do complete nude. Like I don't do complete nude. So like
Okay.
everyone, you can do whatever you
Do
want.
y'all do
on
it
there.
together or
No.
just you?
No, just me. No, we don't have any couple stuff on there. It's really rare. We do like, if we do any like videos, it's together. It's like him slapping my butt, like super like PG-13. It's not like actual. People want to see that stuff, but then I just feel like if I go into that step, like there's no turning back, right?
No,
So
yeah.
like the only thing with OnlyFans that I started my OnlyFans when it wasn't popular to start an OnlyFans. So people like were like, oh my God, get this carada. You know, like it was a big thing when I first started mine.
Yeah.
But I just kind of owned it. I feel like for me, for all the things, for everything with social media, you just own it.
Yeah,
right?
because you're very straight up too, like you said earlier.
Yeah.
So I feel like
So like I'm not gonna hide it, because if I hide it, then it takes power. You guys feel like you have power over me. Like I'm gonna be completely honest with it. This is what I do, and I have it. I'm not ashamed of it.
yeah. So what about when you had your like the moment that was like, oh my God, do your parents know?
My mom knows.
Okay.
My dad, I don't know if he knows.
Well,
But we
because-
don't have those conversations.
Okay.
We don't
No,
talk
just
about
because
it.
one time you told me about that one girl that the dad's friend found her OnlyFans or something like that, right?
Yeah, well, I think I covered that on my podcast. The dad's friend found her OnlyFans and shared it with her dad. And
Okay, so then I saw it through you then.
Yeah, and I was like, you know, I was always nervous but then Chris was like, if your dad's friend's on your OnlyFans, that makes him a fucking creep, not you. Like, why are you on it? Why is he on there? So, like, you do have to think about things like that, right? Because, oh my God, like, what if so-and-so, your family members, because obviously I do have family that follows me, right? But I would hope to God that they're not going to look at my stuff, right? There's no business
for them to go be pay,
yeah.
Too,
and if they do, then that just makes them the weird ones.
Yeah, like that's a weird. If you're gonna go on my OnlyFans and look at my shit, you're weird. Like, because if you had an OnlyFans, I wouldn't care. I'm not gonna go to.
But you can see who's looking or no.
No, you can see who's paying and stuff, but everyone has like fake names. It's not like actual profiles, you know. Like they might have like, you know, Joshua 54321. You know, like it's just different little logs.
Yeah,
and
like
stuff.
their ads.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. On a quick break.
Okay, we'll be back, guys. We'll be back. And we are back. So, you know, we were diving. Where's your money, like your biggest income source from?
OnlyFans, for sure.
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans is my biggest. Yeah.
Do you ever give out like how much you make a month? Or you just like ballpark?
I ballpark. I don't think I've ever been like, this is exactly how much money I make a month.
What's the ballpark?
If you want to share, you don't have to.
I feel like you've said it before.
Yeah, I've said it before. Yeah. Depending on the month, right? Because I just don't like to say a set number because it all depends, right?
It fluctuates.
It fluctuates because, you know, I don't control it. But it's anywhere from 25, 30 minimum to 55, 60.
A month,
yeah.
Holy shit, that's a lot of money.
You know, sometimes it's a little bit more. Sometimes, you know, it's the...
Yeah, but it's way more than what you need to, like, just live good, you know?
You think that, and then you live the lifestyle I live, and you're like, where the fuck is my money? No, the new business that we have.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, yeah.
And you're not even going, like, full on nude.
No. I will say that that's something I learned this year, because I wanted to be honest, you know, you hear all these people say, oh, I make $100K a month, right? And they don't even have that many following. And I'm like, fuck. I was like, I had this one girl who was like, I'm making $100K. You could easily make that. And I was like, fuck, like, let me see what you're doing, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, I'm going to make $100K. But to be honest, I was like, I was like, yes, I'm going to make $100K, but you have to do so much to make that $100K. Like, I shared with you guys, I don't do full nude, right? So there's only so much
you can do.
Like, guys want to, like, yes, you want to look at my boobs, whatever, with a different lingerie set. But these girls are making money because they're either having sex on there with different dudes every day, masturbating with different toys. Can I say that on the podcast?
Yeah.
Okay. Masturbating with different toys, you know, doing different things. So they're showing everything. So, of course, as a guy, it's different. It's like he went on to, you know, Pornhub or whatever, and like he has his favorite girl that he is subscribed to or whatever, but she's like, you know, having sex with different guys all the time or whatever. So yeah, like they're gonna pay for that stuff. But for me, like it gets...
You have your limit.
Yeah, so I have my limit, right? So I was like, yes, I can make more money there, but I'm like, when you start an OnlyFans, you have to have a limit because it's easy to see the money come in and be like, oh, I can do more. I can do more. But we always had our limit. We were like, I always told them like, no vagina, nothing down there is gonna be shown. Like, and that's it. And so when
was this like conversation that you initiated with Chris, or did he initiate it with you?
No, we kind of both were like, where is our limit gonna be? Because I don't even know why. No, we didn't have honestly, we didn't have any guidance going into this.
Okay, because I was gonna ask you that too. Because I remember like on TikTok, whenever it was like, oh my god, nobody talk about it.
Yeah,
there was girls that were like. Follow me, hit me up, like pay me and I'll guide you how to make this money.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, are girls really paying these girls, you know, just so they can teach them how to run an OnlyFans?
Yeah,
like,
because at the time you didn't really know.
Yeah, because it was a new thing. Yeah.
And so I don't know. We were just kind of like, okay, what is going to be okay and what is not going to be okay.
Yeah.
And so for me, honestly, Chris is a very chill guy. Honestly, our relationship is like, people don't understand it very much because he's so like
not jealous.
Yeah. He doesn't care. Like he's like, I'm the one next to you every day. I don't care.
Yeah.
But I was like the one that I was like, this is my limit and this is what I don't want to cross over. And like, I'm telling you, the amount of messages that you get with like stuff that you wouldn't even think about that guys want, and I'm like, he's like, okay, you have this request this week, or we have this request, like, do you want to do it? And I'm like, no.
So that's how that works. They send you a request.
You make content. Mm-hmm. And if they want, and you they can message you, they have to pay to message you, and then they can send requests. And if they have requests, and they have to obviously pay more, right? So like a request can be anywhere from
like, wear purple today or something like that.
Well, if they want a purple set, they have to pay me $500 for a purple set.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So if they want like actual like, oh, I want you to wear this, then
you have but you put the price.
Yeah, I put the price. I'm in charge of the pricing for everything. Or like I'll have guys who actually buy the lingerie for me that they want me to wear for them, and then they'll buy the lingerie for me and then pay like $1,000 for me to wear.
So you must have a PO box.
Yeah, I have a PO box.
Okay, because it's like
no, not my house.
Oh wait, so they okay, they send the stuff.
Sometimes they send the stuff. Sometimes they legit go and they buy a specific lingerie outfit for me to wear, and then pay. They still have to pay for the photos that I'm giving them. So they buy me the lingerie. They send it to my PO box. I wear the lingerie, and I send the photos and videos to them after they pay me for those clips. Yeah, because those are just for them.
Yeah. So my question is like, they can screenshot, right?
No, they can.
They can?
Mm-hmm. That's the issue. So the thing with OnlyFans too, that's why you have to make sure you're okay with it, because you're gonna have leaks. So we are constantly like, Reddit, people leak shit all the time, so we're constantly having to message Reddit and message people to get it down.
And that's like a work thing.
Oh, it's work. Like he's like, especially for him, he's like, that's his job. He like makes sure that on Reddit, I don't go and look because then I stress out. It's like, you don't worry about Reddit, I worry about it. So he worries about the leaks, I don't worry about the leaks. He makes sure we get it taken down. And
my question is, how do you even find them? Like, you look her name up.
Jazzy Fit New, Jazzy Fit Leak, Jazzy Fit OF, Jazzy Fit, Jazzy Pineda.
Yeah.
Oh
it's a work. It's work. Yeah, but I mean, thankfully I don't have to worry about that. And then also they have to be careful, because let's say I paid that guy, or not paid that guy paid me for that set, right? And I find out that it's leaked, then I know it's him, so I block him, so he can't come back. So if it traces back to you, you're fucking blocked. Because what will happen a lot is, let's say Bob buys my picture for $300. He tries to get that he tries to give it to other people for like $5 or whatever. And he's trying to make a little bit of money, or he's like, here, dudes, you don't pay, I got it. I'm like, bitch, you're an idiot, because you're the one that paid, and all these guys are getting it for free.
Yeah.
So that's what will happen sometimes. They'll just be like, oh, look, I paid this for this photo here. You guys can have it too. And they'll just leak it out on. But it happens to everyone. Like,
oh, no, yeah, for sure.
I started my OnlyFans, to be honest, because when it started, it was new. A lot of influencers that I followed started doing it. For me, like, the number one that I looked up to was Anna Cherie. I don't know if you follow Anna Cherie. Mm-hmm. She's been like an OG influencer.
Yeah, I know who she is.
So she started like her OnlyFans, and then I was like, oh shit, she's doing it. And then there was a lot of models, influencers that I followed that started doing it. Yeah. And then I would just kind of take what they were doing, and I would look on their OnlyFans and see what they would post. I mean, some of them still to this day, like, obviously post sex and things like more crazier, right? But I make sure I have my limits. So
because I watch a podcast where they have like like they every now and then they'll bring out like No Jumper.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with No Jumper?
They're from LA.
You know No Jumper?
No.
All right. Well, it's Adam 22 is this guy, and then his wife. Like, they do OnlyFans.
But they do it together.
Yeah, they do it together. But then they started like their own. It's on OnlyFans, I think. They have a podcast. Because he has like this whole podcast platform, but then he started one with his wife, and they interview like porn stars or other OnlyFans girls. They interview them, and then right after that, on OnlyFans, they'll like go and have sex or whatever.
Like a threesome.
And that's like their whole deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Shit.
It's like crazy.
Yeah. And he just did some crazy shit that everybody was talking about.
Yeah, whatever I know.
Oh, is it the one that was going through drama because what was he doing? What happened?
His wife was gonna have sex with a black girl.
Yeah, with a black dude.
Yeah.
So he allowed it. Like, he's always had sex with other girls with her, but that's the first time that he allowed, or he let his wife. They just got married, and then she slept with some dude.
Oh shit!
But see, you know how you say like people don't understand how he's not jealous, because it's the same with us. Like, I feel like if he would have reached out to you, I'd be like, oh, it's not like because why? Like, we've been together for so long. The trust is there, right?
Right.
So I feel like people don't understand their relationship.
No.
Obviously, it's to the fucking extreme.
Yeah.
I would not be okay with that.
Yeah.
Like,
No, that's wild. But yeah, on
yeah.
his podcast, he has a lot of girls on, you know, and then those are the ones that talk about, I make $1 million, $2 million a year type, you know.
Yeah.
But that's their whole livelihood, you know what I mean? And I feel like for you, I mean, you want to do other stuff too.
Yes.
Do you think that could get in the way? Like if you were to, for whatever reason, decide to go that route and just do more, you think it could mess up your opportunities?
Absolutely. I think, and because, you know, I've only been doing OnlyFans for 2 years. I'm trying to get out of it by like next year. Like all our money, like what I said, our income, we've been really like, I joked around like, where's my income? But we have a really good life. We got our house. Thankfully we have our cars. We have all the stuff we need plus more we give to our families. But we've invested a lot of that money because the goal has always been to have more, right? To build generational wealth for if we ever do decide to have kids. So all that money, like literally most of the money that I made this year alone on OnlyFans has gone into this new business that we're doing. So we've always thought like we're doing this for a limited amount of time to get to the next step, right? Yeah. And so now we're reaching that next step. So yes, it's great if I can still make that money for another year, great, but I don't want to just keep depending on it for years and years.
Yeah.
And I do think like it definitely impacts, like, as a businesswoman, you know, with the level that I'm trying to get to next, like, I don't want, you know, a guy to come in to the office and have been like, oh, I already saw her vagina, you know, like, you just never know, right? Yeah, like, you see my boobs, hey, whatever, my boobs come out sometimes, you know, I don't freak out. You see girls' boobs at the club sometimes that they're drunk, you know, like, I feel like boobs aren't a big thing, but for someone to see you in that different light, and then if you do ever have kids, like, especially, like, if I ever have a son, to think about him typing in my name and seeing something like that. I do think you have to think about those things,
like,
right?
you know how with Kim Kardashian that she has her video, whatever, they had asked her, like, what would happen if, like, North would see your video?
One of her sons saw it.
Oh, yeah. When they sent it to one of her sons.
A video game, I think.
Yeah. And she was just like, I mean, it's out there. Like, there's just so much you can do. And she's like, I would just talk. Basically, she was saying that she would just talk to her kids and let them know, like, hey, like, we're at this point. Just know that.
Yeah,
you know.
this happened, right? Yeah. And I do think you have to really think about it. It's not like an easy decision. And I honestly, I don't know if I would be doing OnlyFans if I was single. Like, if I didn't have my significant other, I don't know if I would do it, because I do think it impacts future relationships.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I do think that if I am dating a guy and the conversation comes up, oh, I have an OnlyFans, I'm sorry to say, but do you really think that guy is going to want to take me serious? It's going to be very hard for someone to find someone that's really going to take them serious, right? Yeah. And I do think about things like that. I honestly feel like I got lucky in the sense that he's been a support system and we're in it together, and I can just, you know, get out of it whenever, because if things weren't, you know, so just getting nothing happens, but if things didn't work out, you know, I'd have to explain to my new partner, hey, this is my past, and it takes a certain type of guy to be able to accept that.
Yeah.
It takes a mature guy.
Yes.
Yeah. To understand. Like,
to understand and
But you could stop, like, creating content for that and still make money, right? I mean, because you have stuff, you have like a catalog of stuff.
What do you mean?
Like, if somebody was to log into your OnlyFans or whatever, like, you already have past things that they can pay for, or you have to constantly create new content.
I have a ton of things.
Yeah,
like,
so
I don't
saying,
have to keep making. I do have to keep making content for requests and for OGs, like, because there's still people on there that buy a lot of my content. They want to see more, right? So I am creating more content, because there's a lot of people that are in the messages that are like, they buy every weekend. So like you need new content. You know, often, and you are bringing new people and you look different, right? All the time. So they're obviously going to know if I like had short hair, and back like last year I had shorter hair, right? They're going to know, like, okay, she didn't take this is old. People, the thing with OnlyFans too that is getting more popular is we started just shooting off a camera. Nowadays people want it to be more authentic, like, oh, you just took a selfie in the mirror. So they want it to be like almost like you just took this right now and like send it to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's like, I'm looking at it because you know how you said like OnlyFans takes like a small cut or whatever, but it doesn't really impact you, because it's not like you're putting monetary like no, you know, it's just you're creating content.
You're just creating content.
So it's like it's like kind of like Etsy, right? Like I had an Etsy account where I was just selling like digital designs or whatever, and I started making a lot of money, you know. But it's crazy because I'm just designing something for like one time, and then from there just people just buy
just
it.
More considered like passive income.
Well, it's passive income.
And then, it's passive income. And a lot of people online would be like, "Oh, Etsy's taking so much money. Like, how can you like let this happen?" You know, to other creators or whatever. Nobody ever told me directly, but I'm like, man, it's like they're taking a small cut of nothing. I mean, I'm not.
It's just a platform.
Money, you know?
At the end of the day,
I mean, at the end of the day, you're just making content. And they have to make money, right? So they take a certain percentage off of it, but you're still making good amount of money. It's not like they're taking a shit ton of money.
It's like PayPal. Like, but you're just not. And PayPal, you're literally just sending money, and they're just taking the money for using their platform. Right?
But OnlyFans is my biggest income, and then I have my sponsorships, and then I have, you know, we had No Evil, and then now I also do online training and stuff. So we have different. We believe in having different revenue streams.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
And what about, you don't have to say, but I know you've mentioned it a few times already, like y'all have like something new coming up?
Yes.
Have y'all talked about that or no?
No,
not yet.
Not yet.
No,
not yet. It's close. It is so close. It is so close. Like we finally have a manufacturing date soon, but we can't.
Well, I'm excited for you.
Physical product, like
it's
something.
an actual product. Yes.
Okay. Well, hopefully, primeramente Dios, everything comes out good for that.
From what I gathered right now, you guys will definitely be using it. Yes, you'll definitely be using it. So yeah, we're really excited because it's something that's been in the works for a really long time. You know, it's been a whole process, and we have a little bit of knowledge in it in this product that we're coming out with, but not like the back end stuff. So everything's been a really big learning lesson, and a lot of money and time has gone into it, but we're really excited.
The good thing is that
I already know what it is.
Mentiras.
Well, you tell me off camera.
Yeah, you can't say it on camera because my face goes different. I can't give it away. I haven't even said it on my podcast. Like some of my friends don't even know, so no.
What about like, okay, let's touch on your event.
Yes. Well, first, because the event, does it like it has like the name of the podcast?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about the podcast first.
Yes, let's talk about your podcast.
Okay.
And then we go into your event.
Okay.
Yeah, so Provocative, right?
Yes, Provocative Podcast.
Okay, and then Provocative being like
provoke thought.
Not a sexual thing.
Not just a sexual thing. No, everyone thought it was going to be like a sexual thing, right?
Well, I mean, with your logo.
Oh, yeah, the logo.
With the logo and everything. And I did want it to be some part in sex, right? Because I grew up with my family really like making sex as taboo, like it's a bad thing or whatever. And then I didn't really start learning about sex till like mid-20s, like to be honest, of like, you know, the pleasure side of for women, like how it's specifically supposed to feel and things like that, and like just different stories, because you know I've been with Craig since I was 15. He was my first, he's been my only. So like, yeah.
I laugh because it's like, again, it's so weird for me to hear you say that, because it's normally me saying that. You know, and people are like, really? Is because obviously he's my first, the only one I've ever been with. Yeah. So obviously we've learned together.
Yeah,
you know I mean?
We've had to learn together, and on the podcast I say same shit, same dick, different day. Same dick, different day. But yeah, so I wanted to do the podcast because I did want to talk a little bit about sex, but I like the word provocative because I feel with what I do, I am a provocative woman, right? Like some people could be like, oh, I know that I radiate a lot of like, I just have a strong sex appeal, right? And so I wanted to include that and embrace that into the podcast, but I also loved it because provocative can also mean to provoke thought. So because of what I do, because of the sexiness and everything, a lot of people don't agree with what I do, but I wanted people to be able to have an open mind when they come on the podcast. It's to provoke thought. So you may not agree with what I have to say, but at least you're open to it, right? And it might something might change your mind. You might agree with something, you might not, but you're coming in this no judgment and just taking for what it is. So that's why I started the podcast, and it hasn't been an easy process, because I will say, like, one podcast, you guys know, finding guests, topics and everything is hard. Not even hard, but just time consuming to make it interesting. And two, like, I didn't really know what direction, because I don't have a co-host, so I just started it by myself. It was gonna go, and now it's kind of gone into like more motivational than anything. People just really like to hear me talk about life and motivate them and stuff like that. So now I've kind of directed more towards motivational. When I first started, we would talk a lot about sex and things like that. But there's only so much I can talk about sex because I have sex with Chris, right? I think I wanted the whole, like, I don't know if you've heard of Girls Gotta Eat. Mm-mm. They have, like, they're older in their 30s and they're single. So they have all these sex stories to talk about and things like that. And then that's where I learned a lot about, like, oh shit, people are having sex this way and this way and this way. That's where I really learned, like, okay, some women, it takes them a longer time to have orgasm, or they need certain stimulation. So I just wanted to take what I learned and share it to my girls, especially because I have a lot of Latina followers, and in a Latino household, they don't talk about that. Like, for me, it was like very like, you're not gonna have sex until you're married, and you know, like, that's how it was. One guy only, mm-hmm. Right? And so that's why I wanted the podcast, because I wanted to share, you know, what I learned throughout the years with the girls, and to, you know, any upbringing that they had, like, say, this is not the only way to think, right? So now I share, like, you know, my life, any, like, motivational topic, or it's not just fitness, it's a lot. Recently this year has been about mental health and things like that. So
so how do you go about finding, like, guests and stuff? Like, are you just reaching out to people in your circle, or?
I try to reach out to anyone that I think is going to add value to the podcast. So, like, for me, it's a lot of, like, women entrepreneurs too recently, because I think that it benefits a lot of the women that listen to the podcast. Nowadays, you know, women are hustlers. They're trying to, like, make something for themselves. And so I try to reach out to as many female entrepreneurs I know. But anyone who has, like, not just a business, but is doing something different that can contribute to my listeners, I'm more than happy to have them on. But I just usually do a little bit of research, or sometimes it's just the universe, like, literally, like, I come across, like, someone, like, I just came across Julia Wang. She's #1 realtor in Houston through makeup by Suzette. Suzette does my makeup. I went through her, and I was just on her story one day, and then found Julia through her. And I was like, oh, she looks like she could share what she's learned through real estate, and she's an entrepreneur by herself. And I just messaged her and brought her on. So I just kind of do a little bit of research on what they do.
Okay. What made you? I'm interested in, like, what made you want to come on this one?
I know. I was about to ask you that.
Yeah, because she was so, like, she was like, damn, like, we got her. Like, that's crazy. You know, like.
Well, because
we got her. He was so funny. He's like, hey, can you vet for He's driving. He's like, can you vet for these people? I'm like, no, not really. I'm like, I never really, like, talked to her much. She's like, okay.
Which is because it's like so. Our podcast, like, obviously we have, like, people that we know. It starts off with a circle of people you know, right? And then from there you just start kind of, like, meeting people through them, and you just like know, and then somehow, like, it circles back, and we have mutual friends and whatever. And then with you, it's like I said, like, it's like two different worlds in a way, you know. But I'm super familiar with like everybody over there, you know. And I've tried to work with, like, Christian, like, I've reached out and stuff, so it's never happened. So for us to, like, talk to you in a way, it's like, it's not that it's like, oh, like, it's opening the doors for us, but in a way it is, you know. It's kind of bridging that, you know. So because
I was like, I remember, like, I had repost, because I'm big on, like, everything happens for a reason, or like you speak it into existence, you know. So then it was funny because me and him, like, we talk about a list, right, that we have. And he's like, I'm never really picky on who I want to bring on, because I'm always open to hear anybody's story at the end of the day, because that's what you're sharing, your story, you know, and people can get to know you on a personal level, right? So then he's like, who do you want to have? And I'm like, man, I would want to have her just so I can, like, pick her brain, get to know her, you know, like, just know her story, really. And then he's like, all right, so we added you on our list. So then when I shared your like, your post from the podcast, and then I'm like, and then you shared it on, like, your Instagram, on the story. And then that's when I reshared it. When he's like, we never normally don't reshare a reshare. So then I did reshare it, and then I'm like, yeah, we need to get her on the podcast. And then he's like, I think I just sent you a message without even telling him. I'm like, I sent you a message, like, yeah, I'm down. And I'm like, what? I remember I told him, oh, and then I just screenshot it, and I'm like, all right, cool. Like,
no, I think when you reached out, I mean, honestly, I haven't really been on a guest on different podcasts, because, well, I actually have Max, and then I did Julia. She's from Austin. But when you reached out, I thought it was cool because I saw that you both, I think you were like, oh, me and my husband do it, and I was like, you are Latina, and I looked at your page and I was like, okay, so they interview a lot of entrepreneurs, they interview Latinos, and I think we were just talking about how I want to get more involved with the Latino culture here in Houston. We moved into Sugarland and I love it, but I think because of that, and we live over there, we trained at Alphaland and stuff, it's been hard for us to build Latino relationships. It wasn't until like literally like a year and a half ago that we have some friends now that are more Latino based, but now specifically now I want to build more relationships with the Latino culture here and build more of a bigger community too, because I feel like it's always just been us in our small circle, but and I talked about it on my podcast. I think it was just like too afraid to branch out because you never know people's intentions and this and that, because when I first moved here, everyone like was just negative, right?
Yeah,
and they were like
welcoming.
It was not welcoming. So, but now I'm getting to the age where I'm like, fuck it. Like if I get rejected, I get rejected. But building community is amazing, because if I can teach you something, you can teach me something. Why not, right? And like if I can create an opportunity for you, amazing. And if you can create an opportunity for me, amazing. And so I was like, fuck it. Like that's audience that probably don't know who I am, and like get a chance to know my story. And with also with our product they're coming out, it'll be really good. yeah.
I hope it doesn't slip out because you bring it up.
No, it won't.
But no, I'm glad you did come on, because I feel like our podcast, we are big on Latinos.
Yeah.
So that's why when I was like...
No, and I was going to say, and I do think we're strategic in that way where it's like, all right, every time we invite somebody, we have to tell them like, hey, it's me and my wife, or it's my, me and my husband or whatever, because I feel like that already adds a little bit of trust, you know, and it's like a little more okay. You know what I mean?
And that's why whenever we, because we always do we get your number, we text you, because it just makes it more personal. You know? It's like more like, all right, it's legit, you know? If you have to reschedule, just send us a text, you know, because that now we're building that connection, you know, and then that's when he's like, bring him, because to give you the comfort, you know, because obviously like if you look up the address, you're like, oh shit, like it's at our house, that's fucking weird, you know? But then he's like, bring him on or whatever, because he knew about like Chris too, right? So then but I'm glad you did come on, because we do have a lot of like Hispanic viewers, Latinos. So then whenever you were like talking to us about like your upbringing, I'm like, oh shit, she's full on Latina.
Yeah, I am. It's just been hard for me to try to balance both cultures in one, you know, just because of where I was raised and stuff like that, right? Sure. So, and the companies I worked with, right? Because it's just hard, right? But now I'm getting to the point where I'm like, okay, I want to be able to balance both cultures, right?
So. And you know what? I feel like the Latino community is growing.
Yeah, it's growing a lot.
Like, and I feel like now we're in the point where like literally all of our guests that have came to our like our podcast or whatever, I feel like that connection is still alive. Like we are so big on like you said, if we can connect you with somebody that's been on, no hesitation, shoot you like their number, you know what I mean? Or like obviously like, hey, it's cool, this is so and so, and I feel like once they know you're on the podcast, you know, then they feel more comfortable with that, you know. But with that being said, let's go on a quick break and we'll be back.
Okay, sir.
And we are back.
All right. So we were talking about the
podcast,
right? So it's like, what else do you think like could come out of your podcast? Like, are you right now? You're just doing like the one like weekly?
One weekly, yeah. Every Thursday is a new episode. I mean, my vision is honestly like I would hope someday it's like a kind of like Ellen, like a big like production thing for specifically for our videographer. I want him to like. He's in literally all our businesses that we have, but like I envision him like taking control over that and doing that. But like I don't know, I don't really like to, I have goals for myself, right? And I have goals for life, but I don't like to limit myself to like this is what is going to happen, because if I've learned anything since we've moved here, like life moves so fast, and things that you thought you were going to do you don't do, and things that you didn't never think were part of your life like come. Like I never really saw myself having a podcast, and you know, I like honestly I don't know about you guys, but I don't physically make money off my podcast. I make money through the advertisement that I do with my brands and things like that. But right now I don't have
on your podcast.
On my podcast, yeah. So I don't really have like a sponsorship for the podcast, right? Yeah. So podcasts are tough. It's a tough market to get into, and I never really thought like, okay, I'm gonna get into podcast. But it was around 2 years ago where I was like, something in my gut was just telling me do the podcast, and I love it. Like, you know, I went on my live today and I was like, sometimes, you know, a lot of the times you do things for money, right? Because you want to make money, but there are times that when you find something that really brings you fulfillment, it's like a different type of happiness, right? And like, I love doing the podcast, right? So I don't really make money off of it, but like I love being able to really like share who I am on the podcast, talk about whatever the hell I want to talk about on the podcast, and I am so grateful that I have support on the podcast. So what will happen in the future? I don't know, but hopefully something big, right?
No, that's very relatable, because for us it's the same thing. I feel like we're not really we just got our second like sponsor, right? And it's just basically they sponsor, the way we do it is like they'll sponsor the full episode, they pay us an amount, and then we'll slap their logo like on it, on the full episode, right? And then we'll do an intro and outro video like talking about that business specifically.
Well, it's kind of crazy because we talked to June, right? June the barber. So he's kind of like the one that introduced us to like the whole sponsorship. Like we had been talking about it with Lucia, right? But he's the one that kind of sat down with us, and he's like, all right, how does it work? Like, what are y'all planning to do? Because he's the first one that sponsored the full episode. And I'm like, all right, like if you give us this or whatever, like we'll do this for you, this and this. And he's like, all right, like that's already a lot. Like you're giving me a lot for what you're asking. Like you know what I mean? Like, you're being too giving. You know, it's like, and I'm like, damn, that's kind of crazy because it doesn't seem like we're giving him a lot. If anything,
I feel like it's a lot.
I'm like, oh shit, I should have added more. You know, he's like, no. He's like, I think stop at this. You're good. And then the next tier, you add more. And I'm just like, damn, like it just opened my eyes to like more opportunities, and I'm just like, damn, you know, like.
But it's so funny because we record the intros of like the ad, and he like always forgets what he has to say. Like,
oh really?
So we're literally sitting on that side like recording. And he's like, I'm like, don't read off your phone. Like,
you gotta remember.
I know. Like, and then I'm like, just remember the points. You know? But we started doing that, so we just barely got like 2 episodes that got sponsored. One by June the barber, so shout out to June, and Tilt. It's like a sneaker vintage store.
Yeah, I was telling Chris we have a podcast for them tomorrow. Early morning.
They're like our number 99. I don't know, 97, 98. I don't know, one of those numbers. But we're gonna record at their store tomorrow, and so they ended up sponsoring an episode for us too. So that's how we're making the money. Like barely now. Like we're about to reach 100 episodes. And we're barely getting the money, right? But it's not even any money, because that money is going toward our event that we're paying for out of pocket, right? Because that's just how that works, you know? And but we're pretty excited. Hopefully, but we enjoy doing it. I mean, the goal is to like eventually like make money off of it, you know? But we're enjoying the ride, because people like to see the growth. So it's just,
you can't expect to make money right off the bat, right? Doing things, sometimes you gotta. People nowadays don't want to make sacrifices or think that everything's super fast and easy. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, because reaching even just reaching 1,000 subscribers on like YouTube, it was so like hard for us, right? Like the growth was just so like organic that we really had to work to get there. You know what I mean? Like, obviously our Instagram account is not that big. I think our biggest account is TikTok.
Oh, okay.
Because we had a few videos go viral. On that.
That's the best TikTok.
And then from there they transferred to like Instagram, and then from Instagram the hardest one for us is YouTube.
The hardest one for me is YouTube. It's still YouTube. YouTube is the hardest. For sure. But hey, once you get those 1,000 are fucking hard supporters. Like YouTubers are hard supporters. So if you have like 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, those people will like, they'll fuck with you.
It's because it's like so hard to fucking subscribe.
You have to really want to be invested in those people's lives and what they're doing, right? You really have to care enough to hear what they got to say, right? So
so for us, I feel like adding the 3rd segment, because we just added the 3rd segment. I think you were telling them, right?
Yeah.
So then when that one, I feel like it'll help us a little bit more, just because it's more trending topics. You know? I mean,
they're like, they're talking about, you know, the airline that did a U-turn because the guy had a diarrhea. Or whatever,
It's
like, oh shit, like let me watch what they have to say. You know? So it's like It helps.
Have you ever thought about like adding something like that, like another segment to your podcast, or no? Like maybe one where it's just y'all two?
No, I haven't. No, I honestly haven't.
You're like,
I'm like,
nah.
no, I don't know if I can. I'm barely going back on YouTube again. Like, the podcast says it's YouTube, but my personal YouTube, like, I'm like, okay, I need to get back on it. So, no, I haven't. But I mean, people do love us together. Like, they really like what he's got to say. But the thing with him is that he's not a natural talker. So I really have to like make the topics and really make sure the topic is something he can talk about and he's interested and cares about, because he's one of the guys like, if I don't fucking care about it, I'm not gonna talk about it. So that's the issue. Like, he's not a very like talker, right? Like, so I feel like as a co-host, he's a hard co-host. He makes it a little hard for me.
And you know what's so funny, that like with us, I feel like he brings the topics and I just bring the random shit that, you know, like,
see, if he brought the topics, I could bring the random shit, but I bring the topics, and I have to make sure, like, because sometimes I'll ask him questions like on the podcast, he'll be like, I don't know. I'm like,
what if when you're editing he does like a voiceover?
I know, imagine.
He's like, I can think about what she said.
I know.
That's so funny.
What made you guys think about doing a podcast?
So we were actually, I'm pretty sure like some of the viewers have heard this, right? But we were at Hooters. We were having like family time, right? So we were at Hooters eating, and then we were drinking, and we're like, he's like, man, we should do a podcast. And I'm like, yeah, I love to talk. Like, we should do it. But I'm very like camera shy, you know, like I hate taking selfies, because I feel like I'm very like, damn, why do I look like that? Like, why does my face look uneven? You know what I mean? Yeah. I think about it too much. So then when he's like, yeah, like, you don't even got to worry about the camera. Like, it's just, we're just talking. So I feel like if I'm looking, is to make sure that the camera, like, didn't, like, the battery, right? Yeah. So then we just made that, literally that same day, we made, like, a list of people.
Oh, shit.
And we're like, and he's like, well, he's a graphic designer, so he does logos, you know, he knows how to edit. So he's like, I'll just do all this. We'll bring on guests, you know, and we'll make it like a job. So every Friday, believe it or not, like, we started in, this is like going to be second year?
Yeah, I was telling her September, right? It was like September?
Yeah, we started like the last week of September, like 2 years ago, right? And then we started, since then, we've booked almost every Friday.
Oh, dang.
Like, so it's like a job. Like,
yeah, I don't know. It is a full-time job.
Yeah, so we literally
you
like...
just show up.
Well,
you just show up.
Yeah, I mean, I show up, but I find our babysitter.
Oh, yeah.
But then we have our son, you know, so then I feel like at first, like, our family didn't take it serious. They're like, but they would, my suegra didn't mind taking care of Milo, right? Yeah. And so we would start asking people. Now we have, like, my, you know, family, they're like, oh, we'll watch him for you, because they know we have a podcast. You know, or like if it's a family event, they'll try not to do it on a Friday, because they know we're not gonna go because we have a podcast. That's how serious we're taking it, hoping that eventually it becomes more. You know, so, but we literally started it because we wanted to build more connections and build the community. Like, you know, people watching can watch and be like, oh shit, like, maybe I can start an OnlyFans and not feel judged. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
It's just, that's what we like. We like to bring people that are gonna inspire others, motivate them, encourage them to step out of their comfort zone. You know? So it's just like, again, we're big on like not gatekeeping. So that was really the start of this podcast. And then it just grew to other segments.
Yeah. And then in a way, I feel like your podcast kind of led to the event, right?
Yeah. To what event? To my event?
Yeah.
So I had thrown an event a long time ago with some friends from Denver, and it was a learning experience for sure. And what I do love about social media is like connecting with people and bringing value to people. And like, you know, I think it's cool if you become famous because, you know, you do makeup, or like, you know, TikTok, you go viral for something. But if people know you because you've helped them in their life in some sort of way, I think that is so powerful. And that's one of the reasons that I do the podcast, is because it's just amazing the amount of people that you can help by just like, that's why, like I said, with being different guests or, you know, talking about my OnlyFans or whatever, giving women this confidence, right, that they probably didn't have before. Or they have these, for me, like a lot of the comments that I get and DMs is like, I'm so grateful for you because you talk about things that I think about, but I'm too afraid to talk to someone about, you know, or too scared or whatever. It's looked upon as bad, right? So I give them a platform where they can, I'm just the one that talks, you know, openly, and they can express themselves. And I was just like, I'm ready to build community, and like this, I wanted the podcast to be too, and I wanted to do the event, but in the beginning of the year, and I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for it yet. And then I'm all about, the universe too, and I just felt like I kept getting these signs about building community. I wanted that, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just jump in and do the event. It's scary. I don't know how many people are gonna come out, right? And I hope, but even if I can just get 10 girls to come, that's 10 girls I'm helping. I'm getting to meet and build community with. So I was like, fuck it, like, let's do an event. And so I'm throwing an event November 11th. It's called the Provocative Experience. It's going to be like a whole experience. So I have 5 guest speakers. Each one is going to talk about different topics. It is a women's empowerment event, so women only. I was between a co-ed and women, but I wanted, because I started the podcast for primarily women, I wanted it to be like, I wanted them to feel like, okay, she's here to support us, right? And so I have different female speakers talking about different topics. I'm going to talk about sexuality and how to bring out your confidence. I have a guest speaker on money, on how to be a female entrepreneur and what that looks like. And I have a friend who's talking about mental health and limiting beliefs, and how limiting beliefs can hold you back from achieving your dreams. And then I have a guest speaker talking about hormonal health and how important that correlates to confidence, sex drive, all these things. So I have a lot of guest speakers to give you this experience and talk about all those hard topics, or topics that you don't know much about, but you can take something away from it. So the event's November 11th, and it's going to be a full day event. So guest speakers, a luncheon, so food will be provided, and it'll give you time to connect with like-minded individuals and build that community. And for the women that are there, obviously they're to learn and connect with others. So you're there to learn and connect with others. So we'll have a few different sponsors and tables and things, but it's going to be primarily for you to just go and socialize and learn. Yeah.
So it's like, just to clarify, then it's not going to be like a market.
No market. No market.
Yeah,
and then you're also doing like a walk?
What do you mean a walk?
Isn't
oh
there
my
like
God,
a
yes,
walk in the morning?
yes.
Yeah, so in the morning, because I
thought it was crazy for a second. I was like,
yeah, I know.
No. Sorry. So the event will be anywhere from I'm still working out the times, because it was originally from 12 to 5, but I'm like, that's not enough time. So I'm going to extend it probably to 11:30 to 8, because I want to give, if you're going to purchase a ticket, I want you to have the full experience and
for sure,
not feel rushed. And I want you to have enough time to listen to all the speakers and then also get to meet them and everything. But in the morning, I am someone who does fitness. So I was like, how can I incorporate fitness without being in the event? And then I can't just put it in the middle where you're going to be sweaty and sit and your sweat. So I decided to do a 5K walk and run early in the morning. So, the first thing we do, we start our day with either a meditation exercise, outside, which I think will be a great start to our day. You can run it if you want to run, because I've been running a lot I was doing a half marathon training. But I put walk or run, because some women don't like to run, and that's fine, but it gives you some exercise to start out the day. So we're going to start that in the morning, have a little break, go back to your hotel, your home, wherever, change, and then get ready for the event.
Yeah, I know, because Ronnie's cool. Like, damn, you're gonna be sweaty. No, you have time to go home, change, shower, before the actual event, and then go, because people love my fitness stuff, so I wanted to cool. I want to incorporate it, but I don't want you I don't want to sit in my sweat, and I sweat really easily in the event, and then my makeup be all ruined, and I have videos of me with so I was like, let me do that early in the morning, get a chance, and I think that will kind of already start your day and with a better bond. I'm sure girls will already meet each other there and be looking forward to the event, right? You won't be as nervous to show up to the event. I also think it's super cool that you're adding that, just because it's you.
Yeah.
It's oh, come, this is what I do for real. Yeah. So be a part of it. And because when I saw that, I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm
maybe
excited.
People are not people are probably never wanting to go for that walk or run, and then doing it that one time maybe can encourage them to do it more often.
Yeah. So and I there's so much power in walking alone. I tell people all the time, it's not just about running and killing yourself. Like, just go outside for 20 minutes. You do not understand what the power of the sun will do to your mental health. A lot of actual like health professions talk about it all the time, how like the sun is so important to just your mental health and just going out for a walk. So I want to start out that day like that. And I think it just, going to something like that gets your guard down already, right? Versus like just, sure. You know, I know if I was the one coming to the event, I would really be looking forward to that, because you're like, it's more fun. It's not as serious, right?
No, trust me, like for the other event, I didn't even want to go. Like I was so nervous, right? And he's like, you have to go. And I'm just like, man, do I really? Like,
just to show up.
Yeah, and he's like, no, you have to show up. But I had already told, I mean, I've talked about it on here with First Bow Latina. When she reached, like she reached out and she told me, I told her, I'm like, even here, I was like, I'm just like a nervous person. Like, but once you introduced yourself, then I'm good. You know? Like face to face. So then when I showed up by myself. Yeah. You know, so it's just like, it's even worse when you show up by yourself. Yeah. And then you're just going to an event that you're just like, holy shit, like, what am I going to do? So the first thing I did, I'm like, I'm going to get a drink. Like, like, and I wasn't even feeling good that day too. Oh, okay. And he dropped me off and I'm like, all right, just whatever. I'm just going to talk to whoever talks to me, you know? And then I did have a few girls like, are you from the This and Much More? And I'm like, yeah. And that's when we just ended up networking.
Yeah. And I think it's great. I have a few icebreakers too, so that if you are coming alone, you know, you get to, you know, meet people without it being like awkward, like, oh, who do I say hi to? So I am taking those things into account, because it takes a lot of courage to come to an event by yourself, right?
Yeah, a lot. Sure.
But I want these women who are like ready to make a change, because it's an empowering event. I want these women I talked about on my podcast to, if they're ready to step into this new level of confidence and feel powerful, like, this is the event, right? This is going to get you out of your comfort zone. This is where you're going to learn. And if you're ready, you know, but you're scared, this is the event for you, because I know that it's really, really tough, and I'm going to do my best to make everyone, you know, be able to connect, but you have to be willing to take that first step and go. But it's hard, you know, it's hard, but I think it's going to be very, very beneficial to those.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you're touching on like a lot of like the details for the event. So like that, a lot of the girls that are listening, like you said, if you go alone, like you'll have something. Like you're keeping that in mind.
Yeah, you know?
And it's not like just like a show up and you'll meet somebody.
Like, no. Or just like a show up to take a photo with me or whatever. No, I want it to be like I'm kind of have a day coordinator, because I want to be as involved with everyone as possible.
I mean, guys, it can't get more. I mean, she's going to be sweating with y'all. So like,
it can't get more personal than that.
I know, it can't get more personal. I mean, we're all going to be there like just sweating like, oh shit. Like.
But it's fun. It's fun. It gives us a chance to meet people. You never know who you're gonna meet, right?
Oh yeah,
you can meet your best friend there, or you can meet, you know, if you're looking for a job, you could find your next job right there. You never know. You know, I always try to say yes to opportunities, especially now, because you just never know. And if I can provide someone value, then that's amazing too.
Yeah. Do you know that game Tragos is like a card game?
Tragos?
Yeah, it's like a trago. It's like a drinking game.
Target now, right?
They should be, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like a drinking game, but it's like for Hispanics. So it's like if your mom hit you with the chancla, like take 3 shots or something like that.
Yeah.
So whenever I went to a Sport Latina event, so one of the girls, Jackie, she came up to me because of the podcast. Yeah. So then I ended up just sticking with her. And she actually introduced me to the Tragos girls, the owners, and they're from New York. And they only come to Houston for the Spoil Latina event.
Oh, wow.
So then when I met them, we were literally, we booked like a last minute episode, like a podcast for them. But then their flight ended up, they were leaving through Bush. And we're like opposite of that. So we ended up like not doing it. So we're like, she's like, man, when we go back in July next year, like let's book it in advance so they can come out on here, you know. But I just thought it was so cool, because I walked in there nervous thinking like, who am I gonna meet? And I ended up meeting girls, like these girls that created a whole ass game for Latinos, you know, to play while you're drinking.
That is so cool.
You know, but it's just opportunities like that can happen at events like yours. You know, like
100%.
You never know who's gonna show up.
You really never know.
Like, you never know.
But I mean, I think we pretty much touched on everything. I mean, other than that, I mean, you know, we want to thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Did you have anything else?
No, Did you touch all the topics?
Yeah, that's all the topics.
Oh yeah, that is
plus more. I mean, we touched more than what
we did.
had.
Definitely, her quinceañera was in Mexico. So.
Yeah, I don't even know if I've said that on my podcast. No, I appreciate you guys having me on. This was so much fun. I feel so much more relaxed that I don't have to be the interviewer, because being the interviewer is hard because you have to be trying to listen and trying to see how the next question is gonna flow into the conversation.
And you do it by yourself.
I do it by myself.
So it's like I kind of like let her take over.
Yeah.
Because sometimes he'll get you hardly talk, and then he's just like, well, because I'm always like talking, keeping the conversation going.
No, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yes, I'm glad that y'all did come. Now we have this connection, and hopefully I can come to our event October 14th. Yes. Remember, guys, and then to your event November 11th.
Yes.
Okay. Anyways, her information will be in the description below. And other than that, thank y'all for watching, and shout out to Chris. He's behind the camera. And again, thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Bye, guys.
Peace.